Welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is being positioned to have a sustainable blue economy under the Caribbean Regional Oceanscape Project, CROP. The project coordinators and the OECS Commission held a one-day seminar on Monday with stakeholders in SVG to see how policies and framework can be developed to help SVG transition into a blue economy. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more in this report.
Ocean governance, coastal and marine spatial planning were some of the areas discussed at Monday's seminar for Vincentian stakeholders on the blue economy concept. The seminar, hosted by the OECS Commission under the Caribbean Regional Oceanscape Project, CROP, which seeks to position SVG and other OECS countries to utilize their ocean space for economic gains. Coordinator for Ocean Governance and Fisheries with the OECS Commission, David Robin, provided an explanation of the blue economy concept, which includes an understanding of marine spatial planning.
The blue economy, which is really language for a sustainable ocean economy, where the health and the wealth of the ocean is in balance. They are in balance. So that we are looking for sustainable use of ocean resources for current and future generations.
At Monday's seminar, it was noted that the OECS procured some $3.6 million to assist its member countries to execute the Blue Economy project. Grenada's Angus Friday, co-chair of Blue Innovations Institute, said that SVG has a lot to offer as a blue economy, which other countries can emulate.
We believe that these very principles can actually be applied across the region for the benefit of the folks here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where and across the region in general, where of course here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines there's a tremendous amount of ocean resource, and there's great leadership here, and we believe that certainly we have a lot in the rest of the Caribbean to learn from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think we very much look forward to working with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, working very closely with the OECS Secretariat, and of course working with the Commonwealth Secretariat as well.
Representatives from SVG's fisheries and maritime sectors were also in attendance at Monday's seminar. The government adopted the Maritime National Ocean Policy and Action Plan this year, and Hiron Johnson, Director of Maritime Administration, welcomed the Blue Economy Initiative for SVG.
The National Ocean Policy and Action Plan speaks to, not exclusively, to maritime spatial planning. And the Maritime Administration have been happy to be part of this seminar today because it helps to inform the stakeholders about maritime spatial planning.
The Caribbean Regional Oceanscape Project was launched last year and will be conducted over a 4-year period, during which time all OECS countries are expected to implement a Blue Economy framework. Monday's seminar was the 4th of 5 seminars organized by the OECS Commission. Reporting for SVGTV News, I am Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Vincentians can look forward to an increase in the quality and quantity of honey produced locally. This through Peru Hive Technology project being undertaken by the Inter-American Cooperation on Agriculture, AICA, and the Ministry of Agriculture. Some 40 farmers are being trained on the theoretical and practical use of the technology. The Peru Hive system is a type of perm apiculture which allows the bees to produce without much human interference. The system also features a hexagonal domesticated hive which allows bees to freely build their combs. Speaking from the field, Beekeeping Extension Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Alan Williams, said the system will revolutionize the beekeeping industry.
In St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have been practicing a traditional system of beekeeping that is called land straw hive, and we are now looking for a more sustainable way of managing bees and practicing beekeeping itself, where the farmers can reduce the importation of beeswax, and in return we will be able to control pests and diseases. We will reduce the the cost of importation and cost of production, and make a more sustainable way of practicing beekeeping. We had initially begun with the parent hive system, which is a subsidiary of permaculture, and now we have designed a model after 1 year of trying out the parent hive system with its hexagonal hive body system. We are now adopting the Landstrauf hive into the permaculture system, but using the same methodology of the permaculture. And we have merged both of them so that farmers can easily adapt to it and use the permaculture system to complement the Landstrauf hive system.
Williams expressed confidence in the future of the local bee industry and encouraged Vincentians to support locally produced honey.
We have had an exceptional day today. We had a session in the morning where we recap what we have learned from the first session that we had last year, June, and after which we went to see some of the models that we had set up in St. Vincent, and we also visited a hive that we attempt to extract honey. And we also demonstrate how the whole process can be done, and it was greatly appreciated by most of the farmers that attended the training today. So again, we want to encourage the populace in St. Vincent Grenadines to continue to support local honey, and just look on the labels of supermarkets and look for made in SVG. Our honey here that is produced locally is not adulterated. You're getting 100% pure honey. So support our local honey, and we want to say again thanks to all the farmers who have been resilient, still remain in the beekeeping business, and from now on I believe that we will only have the sky as the limit to reach and to develop beekeeping in St. Vincent Grenadines. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, President of the SVG Beekeeping Association, Beverly Reddock, thanked AICA for its continued support of the local honey industry. She also took the opportunity to encourage Vincentians not to harm bees.
This culture is going to allow us to grow more bees and also to have more wax in our country. So we would sooner or later we should be able to have wax, plenty wax, so that we would not be allowed to import any more wax in St. Vincent. Anyhow, all of this could not have been possible without the support of AICA. Yes, our local counterpart, AICA, has been very supportive to beekeeping in St. Vincent and the Grenadines through Mr. Dalton, Mr. Michael Dalton. He is very passionate, as I am, about beekeeping, and so he has been a tower of strength to the association. So we would like all persons to support beekeeping. When you see bees anywhere, do not kill them. Call a farmer, let them have them removed from if they're in your vicinity, because some people are very fearful of bees. Do not kill the bees. Call somebody and let us remove the bees from where they are so that we can develop a great industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The families of persons living with diabetes will be the focus of the SVG Diabetes and Hypertension Association as it observes Diabetes Awareness Month. And tomorrow, being World Diabetes Day, a symposium will be held at French's House in observance of the day under the theme, The Family and Diabetes. President of the SVG Diabetes and Hypertension Association, Rosita King, said that families need to know their role in dealing with diabetes, which is what will be addressed at tomorrow's symposium.
Persons who are interested to know and raise the awareness of diabetes are invited, but the focus on the target persons are for newly diabetics and their family. But if anyone wants to come and know more about diabetes, they are welcome. So the role the family plays in promoting and taking care of their family members in relation to prevention, care, management, and education.
King noted that her association has seen an increase in diabetic cases over the last 5 years, especially in young people.
Younger persons 2, 3, 5 years, and adolescents are now coming down with type 1 diabetes. So there is an increase in St. Vincent in relation to type 1 diabetes.
The association, which provides kits and counseling to diabetic patients, will be intensifying its outreach program this month, and King is also advocating that persons get screened at clinics across the country.
There are risk factors that's associated with diabetes and the signs and symptoms. Please seek more information so you can know the risk factors and the signs and symptoms. And one of the things I want persons to be aware is that they need to get screening. In order for you to know if you really have diabetes, you have to have your blood sugar done. So I advise persons to, for this month, visit your health center or your nearest doctor to be screened.
President of the SVG Teachers Union, Wendy Bino, has made an appeal to members to continue to work together to further develop the union and the teaching profession. Bino made this call during her remarks at the opening ceremony for the C.W. Prescott Memorial Lecture at French's House on Monday afternoon. The lecture formed part of activities being held to celebrate Teacher Solidarity Week. Bino thanked those members whom she said continue to support union activities to ensure the continued growth of the union.
We wish to acknowledge the sacrifice and commitment that you are making for the union. You are sharing your time and ideas with the main objective being that of advancing the cause of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union. We encourage you to be willing to stand up and be counted as a fearless and proactive member, willing to give without counting the cost and to fight without heeding the wounds. The union requires persons like you in order to remain effective and relevant as we serve our members. Today's activity is an important one as we continue to lay the foundation for retaining, regaining, and recruiting and achieving our goals of delivering member value and increasing awareness in our union. We look to you to be a liaison between us and the other members of the profession.
The SVG Teachers Union president also encouraged members to continue to strive for excellence despite the challenges they face.
And the challenges keep shifting with frequent regularity, but the role and function of the Teachers Union remain one of high stress, and most of the time it is filled with much frustration and negative comments. It is commendable that despite these realities we press on and seek to give of our best. As a good professional, only your best will be good enough, and only your best is what you must strive to live. Brothers and sisters, the days ahead will continue to demand the best from all of us as leaders of the union, whether at the school or branch level, whether we are committee chair or member, executive officer or staff member. All of us must possess and display one critical characteristic, that of loyalty. Loyalty to the cause that is bigger and more important than all our individual views and ideas. In the end, what really matters is that we stand as one united force. Our victory can only come when we band together through the difficult times, because we believe that in the end we shall overcome as hand in hand united stand.
Preventative work is the best way to fight crime. That's the view of Minister of Finance and MP for East St. George, Camilo Gonsalves, as he spoke at last Friday's launch of the newest steel orchestra, Epic Sounds, which will take part in the Pan Against Crime initiative. The Pan Against Crime initiative is the brainchild of Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves and was created to give the youths an alternative to criminal activities. The East St. George MP commended the members of Epic Sounds for their commitment to music and positive activities. Gonsalves said the creation of the 14th Steel Orchestra as part of the Pan Against Crime initiative is a step in the right direction.
Manner of mischief, they are here, honing their craft, showing real skill, real discipline, and providing their gift to you, the audience, and to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is what Pan Against Crime is about. Not everything against crime is when you're waiting for a crime to happen and you come out and you arrest people and you carry them to court. The best work against crime is preventative work. When you find things to do. Because you know what they say about the devil and idle hands. So we take young people who have energy and who have talent and who have drive, and we put them around these wonderful instruments, and we put them around wonderful leaders like JP and Daniel and Crystal. And they hone this energy. And out of all these different parts, you get a symphony. And you hear the brilliance of the youth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the youth of East St. George, and primarily the youth of Calico and its environs.
Gonsalves thanked the government and people of Venezuela for their continued contribution under the Petro-Carib Agreement to the Pan Against Crime initiative.
And in addition, Petro-Carib has just sent a pan tuner to go learn the craft in Trinidad and Tobago. One tuner is in Trinidad, and we're about to send a second tuner, because that is a very special talent to be able to tune a pan, and we don't want to have to keep bringing people up from Trinidad and Tobago to tune our pans. And we spoke to Petro-Carib, and Epic shared with me what they thought they required to get started as a pan side. And Petro-Carib, and I thank PS Pompey again, generously donated through their funds over $60,000 to buy brand new chrome steel pans from Trinidad and Tobago and ship them up here to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And now we have the newest pan steel orchestra in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Meanwhile, Commissioner of Police Colin John said the initiative has proven to be a useful tool in the fight against crime and thanked those who continue to support it.
The Pan Against Crime initiative is ably supported by the police youth clubs, the DARE program, the Coast Guard summer program, the police band summer program. We, as police officers, we are doing all that we can to ensure that the youths and persons who are not so young are directed from a life of crime into a more productive way of life. At this time, I would want to congratulate the Epic Steel Orchestra for being the newest band in the land. I know that they would be successful. I just want to thank the persons who have braved the weather and are here tonight. I wish the Pan Against Crime initiative perpetual existence, as this initiative assists us significantly in fighting crime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you and have a good night.
The Port Authority is expecting approximately 75 containers of Christmas barrels over the next 6 weeks. These barrels will be granted duty-free concessions, which started yesterday, November 12th. Chief Operations Officer at the Port Authority, Carl James, said that while no barrels have arrived yet, he anticipates that by next week the large shipments will begin to pour in. He said that they have already put arrangements in place for the busy season.
In order to facilitate the increases in barrels that we experience, we normally set up an additional location and we'll take on additional staff to help with the volume. We intend that the 17th of December, we will open for additional hours from 4 to 6. This would be from the 17th up until I think the 21st of December. On the 22nd, which is a Saturday, we'll open from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And on the 23rd, which is a Sunday, we intend to open from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Bearing in mind that these are tentative dates and times, and if the cargo flow is such that it demands that we perform this extended hours earlier, we'll then have our internal conversations and make adjustments.
James is, however, appealing to the public to collect their barrels as quickly as possible, noting that this has posed some problems in the past.
First of all, ensure that you contact your agent to verify when the containers are open and your barrels are ready to be collected. Secondly, once the barrels are ready to be collected, please try and collect them in an expeditious manner, because the longer you delay the barrels on the port, it more or less would create a bottleneck and prevent us from opening additional containers, thereby inconveniencing other persons from retrieving their cargo. So as soon as you receive the notification that your barrel is ready for retrieval, I would ask that persons retrieve the cargo as quickly as possible so that we could accommodate as many persons as possible.
John said persons should also make use of the Port Authority's hotline to avoid delays.
If persons have any concerns or any queries regarding the cargo and questions they need answered prior to coming down to the port, we have a barrel hotline that is normally open, and the number is 451-2191. So that number again is 451-2191. Any questions, any queries, anything you need clarified, feel free to contact us.